It looks like Marvel Studios is finally backing general audiences into a corner if the latest industry leaks are true and the legendary Grey Hulk makes his cinematic debut in the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let me tell you right now, this isn't just cheap fan service or a random background cameo. This is a cold, calculated masterpiece of a move where Kevin Feige is actively stress-testing the fanbase. They want to see exactly how we react to a darker version of the character, and if the response breaks the internet, it is leading directly into a live-action, full-scale World War Hulk movie. Marvel has finally realized a hard truth that they've ignored for nearly a decade. The Hulk only functions as a top-tier cinematic character when he stops being a friendly, green superhero mascot and goes back to being an unpredictable, terrifying force of nature. For the last few years, the MCU has left Bruce Banner trapped in a very strange, frustrating limbo. We watched him reach peak physical violence in the early Avengers movies, but ever since Endgame, his character has been watered down into team-ups, quick cameos, and side stories. The brutal truth, a character like the Hulk doesn't survive in the background. He demands the center stage. His core identity is built on raw anger, heavy isolation, and deep psychological trauma. And that is exactly where the Grey Hulk loophole changes everything. To a casual moviegoer, seeing a gray version of the character might just look like a lazy palette swap to sell more action figures, but for die-hard comic book readers, the color gray carries a much heavier, darker psychological weight. In Marvel lore, Grey Hulk, often known as Joe Fixit, isn't just Bruce Banner with a bad attitude. He represents the oldest, deeply buried layers of Banner's subconscious. He is incredibly sharp, ruthlessly manipulative, and emotionally detached. While the traditional Green Hulk fights with raw, blind rage, the Grey Hulk operates with a cold, calculated malice. If Marvel brings this specific persona into the mix, it marks a massive tonal shift for Phase 6. They aren't just changing his skin color, they are changing the rules of engagement. By dropping this wild card into a major project like a Spider-Man film, Marvel is letting the audience taste real comic book danger again. Spidey films always carry the massive structural weight of an Avengers-level event. If the creature Peter Parker encounters is brutal, wild, and completely untamed, the entire audience is going to leave the theater asking the exact same question: where on earth do they go from here? And the only logical answer left on the table is an all-out superhero civil war. The road to World War Hulk isn't just paved with city-shattering action sequences, its true foundation is absolute betrayal. In the classic comic book storyline, the world's smartest heroes, the Illuminati, decided that Bruce Banner was simply too dangerous to exist on planet Earth. They tricked him, locked him inside a vessel, and exiled him into the deep isolation of outer space. But instead of dying alone in the dark, he landed on the violent planet of Skaar, fought his way up to become a king, and finally found peace, a wife, and a future. And then, the spaceship the Avengers built exploded, wiping out his entire new life in a single second. That is the exact human element Marvel needs to replicate if they want this storyline to shatter box office records. The audience needs to feel the agonizing pain of a hero who was completely abandoned and broken by his own friends. When he flies back to Earth, he isn't looking to save the day, he is looking for absolute, systematic revenge against everyone who turned their backs on him. If Phase 6 taps into that deep, raw emotion of betrayal and loss, it transforms a basic monster movie into an absolute emotional epic. Marvel has already been quietly dropping subtle breadcrumbs across the entire franchise to prepare us for this massive explosion. Think about the pieces currently sitting on the board. We have the sudden introduction of Skaar, the looming political threat of Thaddeus Ross transforming into the Red Hulk, and Bruce Banner's constantly fracturing mental state. Now throw the growing chaos of the multiverse into the equation, and you have the perfect recipe for an absolute nightmare scenario inside Battleworld or Secret Wars. Imagine a war zone where multiple variants of the creature from different realities are forced to fight for survival. This is where things get truly insane, because it opens the door for Maestro, the most terrifying future version of Bruce Banner ever created. Maestro is what happens when you combine the absolute genius intellect of Banner with the maximum physical power and unhinged cruelty of a mutated Hulk. He is a villain so brilliant and calculating that he has successfully challenged cosmic threats and entities like Dr. Doom himself. By setting up the Grey Hulk loophole now, Marvel is giving us a clear warning sign that the friendly, safe version of the character we've known is officially gone. Putting this darker, unhinged beast directly into a Spider-Man project is an absolute stroke of storytelling genius. Spidey movies have always acted as the emotional anchor for the audience. They allow us to see this massive, complicated universe through the eyes of a street-level hero. When you pair Peter Parker's light, fast-talking, optimistic energy with a terrifying, massive force of destruction, the cinematic contrast is instant perfection. It automatically elevates the movie into an unmissable event. But more importantly, it sets up a beautiful, tragic choice. Can Spider-Man actually save someone who has completely surrendered to their inner monster? For years, fans have been completely frustrated watching the character get beaten down and pushed into the comic relief corner since the days of Age of Ultron. The only way to truly unlock his full storytelling potential is to let him cross the line and become the definitive villain of the story. When he is fighting for his own survival, or fueled by a deep, heartbreaking reason to tear down the system, every single punch carries emotional weight. We don't just want mindless smashing anymore, we want a deeply human story about a man losing his final grip on reality. Introducing the Grey Hulk isn't just a simple design swap, it is the first domino in a massive chain reaction meant to completely redefine the powerhouse powerhouse of the MCU before the universe resets. The safe, predictable hero era is officially over, and the era of the monster is about to begin. Now, I want to hand the mic over to you. Do you think Marvel has the guts to fully turn the Hulk into a terrifying villain for World War Hulk, or do you think they're going to play it safe and keep him as a hero? Drop your absolute best theories in the comments below. I'm going through the section right now to pin the absolute sharpest breakdown. Smash that like button, share this video with your Marvel community groups, and make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss a single high-retention MCU deep dive. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.